is about family, it's about food, it's about wine, it's also about music. If you're like me, every Christmas always had a great CD on just play all day. I remember Christmas with Johnny Cash, Elvis's Christmas. What were those albums that soundtracked your Christmas growing up? Kenny?
The Beach Boys.
I listened to the Elvis Christmas albums. I mean, that was on rotation at my house.
And I have to say that your version of White Christmas just leaves you hankering for no one else's version, and that is saying something, given that Bing Crosby made it one of the most famous songs in the world.
Well, thank you. I had so much fun making that Christmas album. I think about somebody who makes wine, and there's a passion that goes into it. It's not like, I gotta go to work and make wine, honey. It's like, you love what you do.
I know that Sam Phillips, that, you know, obviously the producer who recorded all those amazing artists, Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins, like a role model to you.
Yeah.
And you scheduled to meet him. Tell us about that.
It didn't quite happen. He passed away. We had a meeting set up. I was going to meet him, and it was about a month later. But something really cool happened. He had done an interview in this magazine. I was working, I was really tired, but I had saved this magazine because I knew it had a Sam Phillips interview.
Probably one of the last ones, right?
It was, and I opened the magazine, I'm reading every word, and he's talking about working with Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis and Carl Perkins and Roy Orbison. He found all these guys. And I get to the last part, and he says, "Who do you like now?" Chris Isaak. I went, "Here's to you, Sam."
This brings us to our next wine, because it's an iconic wine. It's the Mount Mary Quintet. And the great thing about a quintet is, like a band, it's made up of a combination of varieties that all bring something different, a special note, that if you took any one of those things out, it wouldn't be the same. Peter, tell us about the Mount Mary Quintet.
Well, Cabernet originates from Bordeaux, and the great Cabernet wines of the world are from Bordeaux originally, but it's found a home in Yarra Valley. So this is the wine that turned me on to Australian Cabernet. It's not a sledgehammer wine, you know, it's a really pretty, but it's actually subtly powerful, and it's a wine that ages and just gets bigger and bigger with time. You could age this for 20 years. The quintets, as Angela mentioned, it's based on Cabernet, but it's got Merlot, Cabernet Franc, Petit Verdot, 5 great varieties.
Just like a good band.
Just like a great band.
Drink your wine, Kenny.
Okay.
Wow, that's awesome. That's delicious.
Kenny, you're a Napa Valley Cabernet fan.
Well, I've been living in San Francisco area since the 70s, and it was very special back then.
You know, Kenny had a friend who had a winery.
Steve DeVitt. In the Napa Valley.
And he told Kenny, "Oh, you're going to go into this area. You should go to this winery and tell them you're one of the DeVitt family. They'll give you a case of wine." So Kenny, being like all of us, saying something for nothing, he goes, "Sure." Kenny goes there. I'm telling your story, Kenny. He goes there and he says, "I'm here from the DeWitt family. I'm wondering if..." And they go, "Just a minute." And they bring him a case of wine.
Oh, this is great.
"Oh, before you go, we're having a lunch with all the guys from different wineries, and we'd love you to come in and represent your winery and sit at the lunch."
It's all their salesmen. I don't know anything.
At some point, they're passing around the wine, and they said, "So, Kenny, how many bottles of wine did you make this year?" And he's going,
"Well, it varies." I mean, you know, you hope for a big one.
"You're going like 6 cases, 60,000 cases?"
I'm dancing.
He has no idea. And then he's going, "Kenny, what can you tell us about the wine?" He goes, "Let the wine speak for itself." Remember that line if you ever get in a jam. Let the wine speak for itself.
That's true.
Coming up next, what that tells me is that in that 20-year period, what you learnt about women was absolutely nothing.